nobody can make the case for why Kamala Harris would be a better president because they know that there's no case to be made. It's all anti-Trump, anti-Trump, anti-Trump. And I simply refuse to buy into that. This segment is brought to you by Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Sick of fad diets that work for a couple months and then you gain all the weight back? Well, I'm down 37 pounds on the Eastside Weight Loss Clinic program, and I've kept that weight off for more than a year. Schedule your free 15-minute consultation today at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. So I told you guys back in July, was it June, July? I think July, that I was going to vote for former President Donald Trump for the first time. I voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. I voted for the Libertarian Joe Jorgensen in 2020, mostly just because I didn't want to vote for Trump and I didn't want to vote for Biden. And Joe Jorgensen had come on my Fox 13 show at the time, and I thought she was perfectly lovely. And some of the things she said made sense. And I was feeling a little libertarian given the pandemic restrictions. And so I was like, whatever, I'll vote for her. And so, was it during the pandemic? No, that was like that was pandemic restrictions. So anyway, I voted for Donald Trump. I had really thought about potentially voting for RFK Jr. because it wouldn't make a difference in our state and giving him a little bit of boost in the popular vote so we could prop up independent campaigns in the future. But I just thought I owed it to Donald Trump, kind of. I was just so vicious toward him for 8 years. And also, I kind of want to send a message that, like, there's a lot of people out there who would prefer his policies and what he did for the country, but are so scared to say, like, I'm voting for Donald Trump, that they either do it quietly or whatever it is. And I'm like, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to post about it. Man, that went nuts on the internet. I'm kind of surprised. So I had voted. I said, tonight I voted for real Donald Trump for the first time after bashing him on the news for 8 years. He's not my first choice or even my 50th, but I now see how the progressive left uses him as a boogeyman to distract from their deadly failures. I'm not falling for it anymore. It's been viewed 2.1 million times, shared all over the internet. I had friends from the Midwest. My sister in Florida was sending me stuff they'd seen about it on the internet, to which I kind of thought, there were a lot of Trump supporters who were like, thank you so much. Like, this is a vote for our country. I mean, it's not an act of bravery to vote for Donald Trump. That's certainly not how I see it. It's just the better of two options. Kamala Harris isn't even an option to me. I mean, I cannot wrap my mind around people who claim to be conservatives and they're saying, well, I'm a principled conservative, so this is a vote against Donald Trump. But like, if you're a principled conservative and you're voting for a far left California progressive who is going to be bad for border security, bad for the working class, bad for crime, bad for the drug epidemic, I don't see how that's being a principled conservative. Being a principled conservative, if you really think Donald Trump is a bad choice, is like writing in a conservative who you believe in. So that's just odd to me. But there were a lot of people in conservative circles like hailing me on the internet as some like hero. And I'm like, no, I still don't love the guy. But this is who I'm voting for and here's why. And I said something similar actually when it comes to, the left uses him to distract from their failures. Back in 2020, when I was still on Fox 13 and I went and found the old commentary, I had actually done a commentary on mainstream news saying that my hope was, after Donald Trump lost, that now Democrats couldn't use him as this boogeyman to deflect from the fact that they failed on crime and homelessness and drug abuse and affordability and all these other issues, because that was, during 2020 in particular, Jay Inslee, Jenny Durkin, whenever you criticized anything they were doing, it was like, yeah, but Donald Trump. And I was like, okay, but Donald Trump doesn't have anything to do with our crime crisis or our homeless crisis or our substance abuse crisis or the fact that you let left-wing rioters take over 6 blocks of the city and destroy downtown and light police cars on fire. So, but he was like their scapegoat, right? And so I said at the time, like, I hope that now that he's gone, they actually have to take accountability for their actions, but they still don't. They still talk about Donald Trump. How much have you heard Bob Ferguson talk about Donald Trump on the campaign trail? And the Washington State Democrats fearmonger over Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that, as a way to distract from all the things that they've done wrong. And I just refuse to fall for it. And I'm voting for Donald Trump. So anyway, there was a lot of positive response to that on social media. And the negative responses crack me up. What I've found, and this isn't true for every progressive or liberal man, it's not, okay? Let me just start there. But what I've found is like the people on the internet who are the most vitriolic toward me, the most sexist toward me, the most degrading toward me because of my political opinions are absolutely liberal men. White liberal men. Over and over again, where they want to act like, oh, they have the high ground, believe women, trust women, vote for Kamala Harris, white men for Harris, all this stuff. But it's like, God forbid you're a conservative woman or you're a woman voting for Donald Trump. Like, you are a whore, scum of the earth, trash, rat, like sewer creature. I mean, literally. So some of the responses to me voting for Donald Trump, one of millions of Americans who are going to vote for Donald Trump. Let's see. At the Unheard Voice, this is a new whore added to the list for a pussy grab by the rotten orange. Like, what? Oh, let me guess. I bet you're a feminist. I bet you claim to be a feminist. Carson, Brandi's voting for Trump because she's unhappy about something that happened while Trump was the sitting president, talking about Trump. This type of rationale is why Trump loves the poorly educated. To which, like, I have a pretty high level of education, and I'm not the smartest person on the planet, but I think I'm fairly intelligent. At Ryan Shed, because you're an idiot. Why do you support a felon, fraud, rapist, and accused pedophile who failed to... Accused pedophile? Where does it even come from? Who failed to balance the budget or replace Obamacare as promised while abandoning the Kurds and ignoring the 4 soldiers killed in Niger, currently selling $100,000 gold watches and gaudy gold shoes from China, Bibles he signed, NFTs, and trading cards with pieces of his suit when arrested, and some new crypto scam with Elon Musk. Yeah, it's the because you're an idiot thing. So because I'm choosing to vote for someone who, again, like probably 85 million Americans will vote for, I'm an idiot, I'm poorly educated, and I'm a new whore added to the list for a pussy grab by the rotten orange. You know what none of the responses did? Like, not one that I saw. And again, this my vote was viewed by like that was 2 million people just on X. Not one response was trying to make the case as to why Kamala Harris was the better option. Not one. Not one that I saw. It was all about Orange Man bad. And that's precisely the reason why I'm voting for him. It's like, Orange Man bad, or I'm attacking you because you're dumb, you're a whore, you're all these things because you're voting for Donald Trump. Not one of those made any effort whatsoever to try to make the case for why Kamala Harris would be a better president of the United States. And that just tells me everything that I need to know. And what I would ask to people who are voting for her, if Kamala Harris was everything she is now, if she spoke the way she spoke, if she had the same ideas, if she had the same policies, if she had the same track record, if she had the same experience, all of those things were the same, except her skin was white. Do you believe that she would be the Democratic nominee for president of the United States today? If the answer is no, which it should be, because we know she got appointed to the vice presidency or chosen to be vice president because of the color of her skin and she was a woman, because Joe Biden said that. If the answer is no, that you don't think that she would be in the position she's in right now if her skin pigmentation was white, I just don't understand how you can vote for her. Because by their own admission, she was a DEI vice president who pulled at like 1% when she tried to run for president. And then they had to give her the job when Biden got too old. So it's just insane. So nobody can make the case for why Kamala Harris would be a better president because they know that there's no case to be made. It's all anti-Trump, anti-Trump, anti-Trump. And I simply refuse to buy into that. So yeah, I voted for him. I don't care if you want to call me a whore, sewer rat, dollar store Tommy Lahren or whatever it is. Like, that's fine. My ballot's in the mail. And I voted for Donald J. Trump.